Hello out there, everybody. Welcome to Principles of Marketing Online. I'm Professor Martin. Today we're going to give a little bit of an intro to the idea of what is marketing. And we've all seen marketing activities. We saw commercials on TV, advertisements in magazines. So today we're going to take what you already know about marketing and try to give you a full definition of everything that marketing entails. So hopefully you've read the chapter in the book and you've got a little bit of an idea already, and we're going to go ahead and fill in a few of those blanks that you might have. First of all, a definition of marketing. Marketing is a process for creating, communicating, and delivering value to a customer. So if you're one of these people that just always thought of marketing as a narrow window that just included advertising, I saw an advertisement for Taco Bell nacho fries in the magazine or online, that must be marketing. We need to take that one step further, because marketing isn't just creating an advertisement and putting it out there. It's creating, communicating, and delivering value. And there's a lot of different things that go into that. So it's not, well, you had one job. You really have 4 jobs in marketing. We have to create a product. We have to figure out what to charge a customer for the product. We have to inform customers that the product exists and tell them what the virtues of the product are. And then finally, we have to be able to get the product to the customer in a time and place that they want it. So it's not just running an advertisement. It's all of these different things combined, from the point of creating the product to the point of getting it onto my tray when I go to Taco Bell, if we're talking about nacho fries, which, I don't miss any opportunity to talk about nacho fries because I'm low-key obsessed with Taco Bell and nacho fries. So after you get done watching this lecture, I encourage you to go get them before they take them off the market again. We in marketing have 4 P's. We take all those things we just talked about and they become the 4 P's of marketing, or the marketing mix. And I'll kind of refer to those interchangeably throughout the course, but they mean the same thing. The 4 P's of marketing are product, price, placement, and promotion. So when we talk about product, we're not just talking about nacho fries or Tide Pods or Starbucks coffee. We're also talking about all the things that are wrapped up in that. The customer service that you get before and after you buy the product. The packaging, the branding, the trademarks, all of those things combine to make up the product. We're also talking about the price of the product. And part of the marketing mix is setting a price point that's going to be profitable. And we'll talk a whole lot about pricing as we kind of move on towards the end of the term. But there's a lot of variables involved because we have to consider the economy. Generally speaking, in a bad economy, people don't want to pay a lot for the products that they buy. They want value and they want cheaper prices. We also have to consider competition. What are the competitors charging for similar products? If you look at Starbucks, Starbucks is kind of priced as a premium product. And then as other competitors came into that premium coffee market, McDonald's McCafe, Dunkin' Donuts, independent coffee shops like Kava House here in Wilmington, as those started to sprout up, Starbucks had to pull back on their prices a little bit and begin to do things like offer customers, discounts through their app, maybe loyalty purchase programs and things like that. So there's a lot of variables that go into pricing, but the overall objective, regardless of how we determine a price, it has to be profitability. Placement is a big part of marketing. How do we get a product from a raw material state through production into the customer's hands? And you can imagine that's a pretty involved process. So just look at Taco Bell nacho fries. And how do we go from getting raw material, producing that raw material, getting it to the restaurant, and then getting it to a customer in under a minute after they order it, hot and fresh? There's a lot that goes into that. And if we look at more of the consumer goods, like Amazon is always trying to think of new ways to get a product into your hands quickly in a day or two, to the point that they're now looking at drone delivery. They're looking at things like having private individuals deliver the product in the last mile instead of having UPS and the Postal Service do it. So placement is a big part. There's value in that. And then finally, the idea of promotion. What we're normally thinking when we think of marketing, the advertisements, whether it be online, whether it be on TV, whether it be in a newspaper, magazine. Then we kind of take the next step and we kind of think of this thing called integrated marketing communications, where all of these different promotional items work together to kind of promote the same thing. And it's kind of a nice little synergy when you kind of combine all those things. So the 4 P's of marketing, they're all kind of work together to create value when they satisfy a customer's wants and needs. So you need to be very familiar with the 4 P's of marketing. Going back to this idea of integrated marketing communications, you've probably seen the television advertisements for the Taco Bell nacho fries that kind of spoof these adventure action kind of movies. You probably maybe seen online on maybe Facebook or social media, Taco Bell advertising that product. If you go to Taco Bell, they've got signage on the windows. They have sales promotions where you can get a $5 nacho fry box. And they're also talking about it on their social media channels. So they've got this integrated marketing communications where all these different forms of promotion are happening surrounding that same item. And they're all kind of delivering the same message. So that's really kind of the pinnacle of promotion, is when you have all of these different things kind of pushing towards the same end and promoting the same message over and over again. And we also saw that with the Taco Bell launch of the Dorito tacos. So you kind of can be aware of what a business is doing by looking at those communications. So we have this idea of a marketing mix. But a marketing mix can't be effective if we don't know who our customers are and what they want. And that's really where everything begins in a marketing strategy. It begins with this idea of a target market. A target market is a specific group of people that the business is going to aim its marketing efforts at. Now, you'll hear some small business people say, well, I don't really need to think about target markets. Everyone is my customer. I open my doors, and whoever comes in, and that's great. And you really couldn't be more wrong. I'm sure everyone's your customer in the sense that you're going to sell them something if they come in. But if we don't specify a target market to target that marketing mix towards, we're really just kind of putting on a blindfold and shooting in the dark. And it's really inefficient. So everything in a marketing strategy is going to begin with developing a target market. We have to know who the customers are. We have to know what they want. Now, to give you an idea from Taco Bell here, a really bad way to look at it would be, well, our target market is everyone who wants to eat food. Well, shoot, maybe I want a nice sizzling plate or platter full of fajitas, and I want unlimited nachos and salsa. Well, that's a person who wants to eat food, but Taco Bell's not really satisfying my needs in that way. So what Taco Bell has done is they've kind of looked at their customer base and they've divided it into 5 very specific kind of target markets that they can shoot their marketing mix towards. And if you look at those groups right here, it's not just, well, age and income. Well, our target market's 15 to 35-year-old males that, make $50,000 a year. It goes beyond that. They're looking at things that we would call psychographics, and we'll get into that later on. But just real quick, a psychographic is kind of a lifestyle, what people identify as and how they choose to live their life and the things that they like to do. So if you look, Taco Bell knows their consumers, and they kind of break them down into 5 different groups: social explorers, edgy cravers, status feeders, morning hustler, and dudes. Put that in quotation marks with the air fingers. But they kind of have it broken down so they can market specific products to each one of those groups. Now, that's not to say, they have the Baja Blast and the Dorito Loco tacos up here in Edgy Cravers. That doesn't mean that if normally I just go to Taco Bell for breakfast that I can't go in and get a Doritos Loco taco. That's not what that means at all. What it means is they have specific messages that they're tailoring to these different groups to try to get their business and try to turn them into loyal customers. So it all begins with this target market, and every business has to understand who their customers are. Otherwise, they are not going to be able to deliver a marketing mix that really meets their wants and needs. So, and just kind of summarizing, I have a nice little graphic here that I stole from the textbook. The target market is the center. It's the beginning. It's where we start. We get a clearly defined target market. The better we can define that target market and identify the people in that market, the more successful we're going to be with our marketing mix, which is the product, the price, the promotion, and the placement or distribution of that product. So you really need to be familiar with that concept. It would make a really good exam question. If I'm looking at my crystal ball in a month or two when we have exam number 1, I could almost see an essay question that said, think of a company you do business with. What are the key elements of their marketing strategy? talk about their target mix, talk about their marketing mix. So I see that coming down the road. So you may want to just kind of keep that in mind. The book talks a little bit about the 5 areas of marketing, and it's important to kind of understand where we've been in order to get a feel for where we're going in marketing. And it talks about the production era, where we kind of started out when the Industrial Revolution took place and we had these means for developing mass quantities of products that were standardized. As an outgrowth of that, we kind of had this production philosophy. We'll just make a whole bunch of stuff and it'll sell. If it's a good product, it'll sell. We don't have to worry about any marketing. We don't have to worry about any sales. Just make it and they will come. If you make it, they will come. Well, what happened is as production processes became standardized, everybody could make it. And just making a good product itself wasn't enough anymore because everybody could make that same product now. So now we have an excess of products. We have all this excess product because all these people are making it, and now we don't have enough buyers to kind of absorb all of it. So then we kind of moved into a sales era of marketing. We've got good products, but now we need to kind of come up with ideas to advertise them and sell them because now people don't want to buy them because they have so many different products out there. Then we kind of transferred into what we would call more of a present day marketing era where we're saying, well, instead of just maybe making something and then beating people over the head, you need to buy this product. Maybe we should talk to the customer and figure out what they want. And once we understand what they want, then we develop a product to fill it. And then that kind of moved us into the marketing era. So now consumer has kind of become king. Let's understand what they want and then give it to them. We've kind of gravitated into a relationship era from that. Where it's not just enough to satisfy a customer's needs one time and then move on. We want to build a long-term relationship with those customers. Because the reality is it costs a lot less to keep a customer than it does to go out and find a new one. If we can get a customer and keep them and hold them for a long time, that's very profitable. So we moved into this relationship era. And to kind of piggyback on that, we're now in a social era that kind of adds on to that where customers can talk to us and we can talk back to a customer one-on-one via things like Twitter and Facebook and Instagram. So we've gone from, to kind of summarize that, a marketing era of, well, let's just make it and then somebody will buy it, to, well, let's listen to the customer and figure out what they want and try to give it to them, to let's become a partner with that customer and let's have a lifelong relationship with them. And we'll talk about in our discussion board this week the loyalty ladder. And this idea of that lifelong customer and how valuable they can be to a business. If you think of somebody that is a brand new customer, they bought a product for the first time, we'd like to turn them into a regular purchaser. We'd like to keep them coming back. And then beyond that, we'd like to see them become a loyal supporter. They will buy our product over any other company's products or over any other brand's products, regardless of price. They're just going to pick us all the time. That's a loyal supporter. The top of that loyalty ladder is not only does this person buy our products over and over and over, but they're going to get on social media and they're going to say, I love Taco Bell nacho fries. They're going to stand up in front of their classroom and tell everybody to go get Taco Bell because it's awesome. They're going to be an advocate for our brand. They're going to advertise our brand so we don't have to worry about it as much anymore because our customers are doing that work for us. That's like the ultimate. And to keep that customer coming back year after year and talking about the product and talking about that business in a positive way is so valuable. So how do you get to that point? And really, 3 things a company has to do to move a customer from a new purchase to an advocate. They have to know what that customer wants. From product, price, promotion, placement, they have to know what that customer wants. They have to deliver it in their marketing mix consistently. And then finally, they have to provide customer service during and after the purchase. And it has to be top notch. They can't let that customer feel like they're just out there on an island by themselves. They have to let that customer know that they're valued and that they want them. So that's the loyalty ladder. You need to be familiar with that. And we'll kind of cover that in our discussion board this week. Finally, the final thing I want to talk about, categories of marketing. The book talks about 6 different categories. It's not just products. We're not just advertising and marketing nacho fries or, Swiffer wet jet vacuums or whatever the case might be. But that's one element. That's a category of marketing where we're actually marketing a product or a service. Person marketing is another kind of marketing where we're using a celebrity or a celebrity's kind of marketing themselves. And a lot of times there's some overlap in these categories. Like Shaquille O'Neal here has recently become a board member of Papa John's and opened up some Papa John's franchises that he owns. So he's kind of marketing himself and playing off of his celebrity. And at the same time, he's also marketing a product. He's marketing Papa John's Pizza. So there can be some blur between the categories that we're looking at here. Place marketing. Places market themselves. The state of Ohio markets itself for tourism. Gatlinburg, Tennessee markets itself. So it's not uncommon for places to try to brand themselves and market themselves in order to get people to come and visit and spend that tourism money. Cause marketing, you've probably seen a lot of that, where maybe it's don't litter, maybe it's don't drink and drive, Mothers Against Drunk Driving, that kind of thing. Cause marketing markets a specific cause or idea, don't litter, don't set forest fires, that kind of thing. Event marketing markets a specific event, maybe it's a sporting event, maybe it's a charitable event. And then finally, organizational marketing is usually governmental entities or not-for-profit organizations marketing what they do, what services they offer, and try to encourage you to donate money. So that's an overview of where we need to begin in marketing. I encourage you to, if you have questions, we'll have live chats on Canvas that are always there. You can get in there and maybe put in a question and have a discussion. Our discussion board threads, I make postings that I expect you to respond to, but you're always welcome to add your own. And then finally, you can always shoot me an email at tmartin@sscc.edu. I'm looking forward to a great term. We got the introduction stuff out of the way, and we'll add a lot more to that as we go along. So have a great term.